Now we turn to our next speaker, Dr. Yulia Dalton. Her work coincides with other ethnographic studies that provide insight into lifestyles and cultures in some of the world's most remote places. The sole focus of Dr. Dalton's 2-year-long study was a group of Inuit people living in Canada's isolated Nunavut territory. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Dalton.
Thank you very much. When I first designed this project, many of my colleagues were planning studies on tropical islands and in rainforests. So when I told them that I was going to Nunavut, where the average temperature fluctuates between -13 and 31 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter, people were a bit surprised. But I can tell you that it was an incredible learning experience and one that I'll never forget. To start, I'd like to give you an idea of the enormous size of Nunavut, which is about the size of Western Europe. So it's a huge landmass, but only around 30,000 people live in the entire region. Everyone lives gathered in small communities. If you open the handouts you were given and look at the appendix on the last page, you can see a map of Nunavut listing all of the Inuit communities spread around this very large area. There are very few roads and no highways connecting Nunavut to the rest of Canada, so the mode of transportation between towns is either boat or plane. One of the issues that I studied relates to traditional culture. In some ways, traditional ways of life have continued to the present day, such as fishing and hunting. In other ways, the Inuit have deviated from their traditional practices since their contact with European Canadian people. For example, Inuit people generally live in houses today instead of igloos made of snow. And even though many still wear traditional clothing, young people often purchase newer styles online. So, cultural preservation is important for many Inuit leaders. Another part of Inuit society that I looked at was education. You might be surprised to know that Nunavut has the highest birth rate in Canada. One consequence of this is that there is a shortage of adults to serve as Inuit teachers, so a big issue is the training of new teachers. University education is also challenging because of the massive distance between towns and the difficulty of traveling from place to place. In other words, it is difficult for many students to travel to school. Right now, there are no universities in Nunavut, but one government official told me that one is forthcoming, as the government is looking for ways to establish an Inuit-centered university to serve the unique needs of Inuit people. During my studies, I found Nunavut to be a vast land of immense beauty. To tell you the truth, I never really got used to the extreme cold, but the Inuit people that I met and got to know really welcomed me and taught me a lot while I was there. It was quite an experience, and if you have an opportunity, I highly recommend a visit there. But go in the summer. Thank you again for the opportunity to share my work with you.